Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 27th of January, my bad. I'm all kind of confused because my intro didn't play for some reason. Anyways, it's the 27th of January, 2019. We're here to talk about a great episode of Monday Night Raw. And I want to get the elephant out of the way. First thing we got to talk about, Andrade. So, right when Raw went off the air, or right before Raw went off the air, Pro Wrestling Sheet put up an article stating that Andrade had failed the wellness policy, failed a drug test. And so Andrade will be suspended for 30 days. Now, what they did with him and Humberto makes 100% sense. But, hey, it happens. It's his first offense. He'll be suspended for 30 days. He'll come back after, and we'll see if they keep the belt on him or if they take the title off of him. I'm surprised they didn't take the title off of him tonight. With them not taking the title off of him tonight, then that leads me to believe that they're not that mad at him for it and that he's not going to be like reprimanded when he comes back. Because if they were pissed, if they were as mad as you would think, they would have took the belt off of him tonight. But we'll see how it all does go. Andrade has to be, and we'll talk about this more when we get to that match, but Andrade will be suspended for 30 days. He was informed this morning of the suspension and the failure, so I guess it goes into effect either today or tomorrow. And we'll see how it all does go. WWE has yet to make this announcement public, and usually they only put that up on their corporate website. Most likely it'll come out first thing tomorrow morning. As if you remember with the Robert Roode and Primo ones, those came out on a Tuesday morning as well. But let's see who's here with us in the live chat. Sorry for starting late. I had to get that Andrade news out. But we've got Derek Bocek. We've got Kristen McNutt, George John Cox. We've also got Jason Dalton, Woken King Slender, Half Full Nuts Comedy, Frank G. Seen some new names in here. Great to see some new names in the live chat. I love it. I love it. We've also got the legendary Yog. I hope I said that right. Yog. And so many more of you. So, like I said, I thought this was a great episode of Raw. I was into everything. I know most people hated the Liv and Alana stuff, but hey, they kept it short and sweet, and they didn't go longer than it needed to. The Riddick Moss thing kind of threw me for a loop. We'll get to that when we get to that. So let's kick it off with what happened tonight on Raw. And the show started with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre won the Royal Rumble last night. He now has an opportunity to face whoever he wants, whatever champion at WrestleMania. McIntyre came out and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." McIntyre said that he needed somebody to pinch him because he felt like he's just been dreaming for the last 24 hours. McIntyre said that he won the Rumble and now he's going to Mania. McIntyre knew that some guys in his position like to draw things out, but that's not what he's going to do. He's going to announce right here, right now. And what did he do? He challenged Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Crowd erupted. He said that there's a lot of guys in the back that are scared and afraid of Brock Lesnar, but he wasn't one of them. He said that he saw Lesnar last night and knew that a Claymore kick would take him out, and it did. It sent him right over the top rope. McIntyre said that he wanted to hand out a few more Claymore kicks right now. Let's have a Claymore party. He challenged anybody in the back to come down and face him. Out would then come the OCs Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, sans AJ Styles, which confirms that AJ is injured, with AJ not even coming down to the ring to be at ringside with these guys. Confirms that serious injury. Last I heard, it was either a dislocated shoulder or a torn rotator cuff. If it's a dislocated shoulder, I think it's 3-ish months or so. If it's a torn rotator cuff, 4 to 8 months, possibly. So hopefully AJ's not out that long. The fear right now is he's going to miss WrestleMania. We'll see where it goes from there. But Carl Anderson got a mic and said, I want to face you right now. Luke Gallows grabbed a mic and says, no, I want to face you right now. And Gallows kind of looks over at the crowd and goes, you thinking what I'm thinking? But I take them both on right here, right now. So we got a 2-on-1 handicap match. Drew McIntyre against the OC. McIntyre beat up both men and handed out 3-2-1 claymores to both guys. He placed Gallows over Anderson and then pinned them both. McIntyre then threw both guys out of the ring, and as he did so, Brock would appear out of nowhere, slid in from behind, grabbed McIntyre, and hit him with an F5. And I thought this was brilliant. You have McIntyre destroy two guys. You have McIntyre look just completely, utterly undefeatable. And then all of a sudden, Brock comes in, hits him with a huge F5 and leaves him laying. And now it gives you that doubt of, oh crap, is Brock too much for McIntyre? Yeah, McIntyre won the Rumble. Yeah, McIntyre just beat two guys at once. But Brock just came in, hit him with one F5 and left him just down and out. So I like that it gave you doubt on, oh crap. Hopefully Brock's not too much for him at Mania. So I thought this was tremendous. McIntyre's promo was 100% spot on perfect. I didn't think he could have delivered that promo any better. And throughout the night, there was a lot of Edge talk. As far as clips from Edge's past, hyping up Edge here on the show tonight, which we learned that Edge was in the main event segment. The first one we got was highlights from the WrestleMania 17 TLC match. If you want to hear our thoughts on that match, you could do so by going over. We're already here, so go over there and click the videos tab on the PWUnlimited YouTube channel and find episode 3 of Rank It Season 1, where we talk about this match that they actually talked about tonight on Raw. Henry Cavallo, MVP, is not back full-time. Last I heard, he's going to be back just for a little bit, and that's it. He's not going to be in long. Nothing long-term with MVP, as we'll talk about next. So, next up, we did get Rey Mysterio versus MVP in a 9-minute match. I thought this was a fun little match. I thought both guys worked well. MVP got a 2 count early off of the ball and elbow. Mysterio hit a 619 to MVP's back. He then hit a springboard frog splash, got the pin. I mean, there's not much to talk about. Neither guy messed anything up. Everything seemed solid and fluid. And it was just a fun little 9-10 minute match. So next up, we got a 30-second match from Aleister Black against Kenneth Johnson. All you gotta say is he hit him with a black mass, pinned him, beat him. Black then got a mic and said he got eliminated from the Rumble, but he wouldn't blame Seth or Buddy. He only had himself to blame for being eliminated. If he starts something, he said, if I start something, I'm going to finish it. That loss is on me, and I own it. He said he made a mistake, and he's made a mistake for the past few months, waiting for people to come fight him. Now, he's warned the locker room that he's coming to them. He will bring the fight to them. So it's interesting that he did the whole sit in my closet, someone knock on my door, tell me you want to fight. So are we going to see him just randomly attacking people backstage now? I don't know. Out next was Seth Rollins with Buddy Murphy ahead of their championship match. Rollins and Murphy entered down to ringside without the AOP. Kind of shocked me at first. Rollins said that he was close to winning last night. But and he almost went back-to-back Rumbles. But he was eliminated by the eventual winner, Drew McIntyre. Rollins told McIntyre to enjoy this while it lasts, because the fans will soon stab you in the back. Rollins wanted to talk about the positive stuff instead, like him eliminating Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, which I guess you can credit him with eliminating Kevin Owens, but really AOP just pulled Owens out of the ring. He ensured by eliminating them that they will not be making their way to WrestleMania in a championship match. The other big positives was that he and Murphy became the new tag team champions last week. Rollins called himself a benevolent leader, which is why he accepted the title challenge of Owens and Joe tonight, as Owens and Joe make their way out. Owens informed Rollins that he's been an absolute jackass the past few months and added, quote, "You suck now." Actually funny the way he delivered it. Rollins told them to come down and fight as they're standing at the top of the ramp. Joe wondered, why are you so eager to fight us right now? You've been avoiding us for so long and now you just want to fight? Owens also said, what are you, baiting us to get in the ring so AOP can come out of nowhere and attack us? Seth said, no, I told AOP to stay in the back. He's like, I can even prove it to you. I got a camera on them to show them that they're in the locker room. Show you they're in the locker room. Put it on the screen. And so we see AOP in the locker room. And I love... Joe goes, really? You think that's gonna make us think that they're backstage? We work for a company that's got cameras everywhere, that films stuff early in the day all the time. How do we know you didn't pre-tape that? And I'm like, oh, that was a good one. That was a good little inside line. Rollins said he wasn't a liar. He called Owens a liar. I don't know why I wrote that weird. Rollins ensured that the feed was live and said, hey, say something about Owens. And one of the AOP guys said something for like a half a second. Owens then said, you know what? Thank you for this. Thank you for showing us where they are. And as he said that, the Viking Raiders would attack them in the back. Owens and Joe then marched down to the ring as this match started after the break. But before the match started, we got another clip of Edge cashing in his Money in the Bank, the first ever Money in the Bank contract, on John Cena after the Elimination Chamber match at New Year's Revolution 2006. Then we got Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy defending the Tag Team Championships against Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. Owens and Joe worked over Murphy for the first few minutes. Murphy went for a springboard crossbody, but Joe just simply sidestepped him. Crowd pop for this. Owens wiped out Rollins with a senton off the apron, and then Joe took out Murphy with a dive, leading to a break. After the break, they replayed Joe's dive and said that Joe was forced to leave by officials. Presumably, he was knocked out. Joe was shown leaving, refusing help. So I don't know exactly what happened here. The heels then worked over Owens until he gave Murphy a DDT and hit Rollins with a frog splash. Murphy caught Owens with a kick and tagged in Rollins. Owens then gave Rollins a pop-up powerbomb for a near fall. Murphy tried a superplex, but Owens fought him off and hit a senton instead. As he almost got the pin, Seth ran into the last second to break it up. Owens then took out Rollins with a flip dive, but Murphy followed it up with a running kick. Owens avoided a curb stomp and then gave Rollins a stunner. However, Murphy caught Owens in a schoolboy while holding the tights to retain the championships. I'm happy that it was Murphy that picked up the pin. We need Murphy to look stronger. We need Murphy to look good. Murphy getting the pin and not Seth, I thought that was the right choice. Because, we've seen Seth get many victories, but we haven't seen Buddy Murphy pick up a real win for a while. So then they aired a clip of Edge winning the 2010 Royal Rumble. They even included a shot of, him eliminating Chris Jericho. So with that, they recapped Becky Lynch defeating Asuka. Charlie Caruso then interviewed Lynch backstage. Kind of odd that this is all we got of Becky. She asked Lynch if the win accomplished what she wanted. Becky said it did something even better. After she won the match, she took a shower and stared at her belt. And then it hit her. I am better than the rest of those dopes. She said she wanted to slap her own head for doubting herself. She said the next arse that she beats will be one that she wants to, not one that she has to. Charlie Caruso asked her about Charlotte Flair winning the Rumble and possibly challenging her at WrestleMania. Lynch said that it wouldn't be the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. Lynch turned around to reveal GOAT written on the back of her jacket before walking off. okay, this is all right. I didn't think it was bad, but I really feel like they could have done more with Becky tonight. And then we got a U.S. title match that went about 10 or 11 minutes. Byron Saxton referred to Andrade as a certified a-hole. Those are his words, not mine. Lawler was in disbelief that Carrillo got another title shot. Carrillo hit a dive early as they went to break about 3 minutes into the match. Andrade was in control after the break. They messed up a counter spot, and Carrillo used a springboard crossbody and a standing moonsault for a 2. Even though it seemed like they may have messed this up, it actually still looked good, and it actually may have looked better messed up than if it was not. Because sometimes you do these like springboards and the moonsaults and this and that, and it looks too perfect. So sometimes messing up a little or making it look like you may have messed up gives it that slight imperfection that makes it seem more realistic. Carrillo tried the springboard move again, but Andrade kicked the ropes out from under him. Carrillo came back with a disaster kick and a moonsault. It seemed like he might get the win here, but Vega then jumped in, broke up the pin, causing a disqualification. Carrillo won the match, but Andrade retained the belt, and this enraged Humberto Carrillo. Carrillo then attacks Andrade after the match, launching him into the steel steps. Carrillo then removed the mat to expose the concrete below, and Tom Phillips made a point to tell us this is the same thing that Humberto had done to him by Andrade, and it kept him out of action for 1 month. Now, knowing what we know about Andrade, he needs to be gone for 1 month. And so Zelina was yelling for Humberto not to do it. She's like, please don't, stop. And he just spikes him right down on the concrete before officials come and break it up. They then showed us a clip of Edge's retirement speech from 2011. Charlotte Flair then came out to cut a promo. They kept telling us, hey, she's going to let us know who she's facing in WrestleMania. Yeah, that didn't happen. Charlotte Flair came out to the ring wearing her gear, so we knew someone was going to interrupt and give her a match. She pointed at the sign and reminded us that, well, she won the Royal Rumble. She was happy to brag because, well, she indeed is Charlotte Flair. She said, then now look at the highlights of what I did. They come back and Charlotte goes, I'm going to challenge for a championship. She then laughed and said, I still got to think about my options. So it's like, really? That was it? But then Asuka and Kairi Sane came out. Asuka got in the ring, cut most of her promo in Japanese, but then in English said, you wouldn't have won if I was in the Royal Rumble. I liked that line. Still making Asuka, even though she lost to Becky, super confident and still a badass. People popped for that line. Charlotte wondered if she was challenging her or something. Asuka and Sane then attacked her and gave her a suplex, and then they abruptly, like out of nowhere, just quickly went to commercial. We come back and we got a 15-minute or so match between Charlotte and Asuka. Now, Charlotte was a heel 2 minutes ago, trolling the crowd with her announcement, but then she's the babyface in this match. I don't get it. Saxton was kind of wondering the same thing. Hey, is Charlotte a good guy or a bad guy? He said she's kind of a bad guy for making that non-announcement. Asuka pushed Charlotte off the top rope at one point to the outside. They blamed this on a distraction from Kairi Sane. After a commercial break, Asuka gave Charlotte a bulldog for a 2. Charlotte dodged a missile dropkick and followed soon later with a big boot for a 2 of her own. Charlotte missed a moonsault and Asuka caught her in a submission. Charlotte then deadlifted her off the mat and nailed a powerbomb for a 2. Asuka followed with a code breaker for a 2. Charlotte ducked a kick. Asuka ducked a boot. Then Charlotte gave her a spear but only got 2 off of it. Almost got 3, but it was a close near fall. Sane then stomped around in frustration at ringside. Charlotte put Asuka in the figure 4. They talked about how devastating of a move that is. I like how Lawler on commentary goes, I've taken that a couple times from Ric Flair. It's probably the most devastating submission there is. And then he pauses and goes, well, you've also got the sharpshooter. I thought that was pretty funny. Charlotte then transitioned it into the figure 8. Sane came off the top rope with a nice looking insane elbow to cause the disqualification. Didn't like the DQ in 2 matches in a row. But before the DQ, this was a great, great match. These two women work just absolutely great together. And Sane then attacked Charlotte afterwards. Charlotte made her own comeback and fought her off. I thought maybe Becky was going to come out to make the save or something, but nobody did. Asuka pulled Sane from the ring, and they went to the back. That was it. We then see the Street Profits. They were about to... the Street Profits talked about Raw and said tonight was Rated R Kelly Kelly. Oh, no, I have that written wrong. They said it was Rated R, and then Kelly Kelly showed up. They said they were happy to see her. Angelo Dawkins kind of flirted with her. And then they asked her if she wanted the smoke. I still don't get what smoke is. I don't know if I'm just not hip with the cool teen young kids lingo or whatnot, but I don't get what the smoke is. One thing on Mojo Rawley, with of all people to get called to the main roster, Riddick frickin' Moss. You heard me right. Riddick Moss is now on the main roster, aligned with Mojo Rawley. So Mojo came down for an actual 24/7 championship match. And this match lasts 24 seconds against No Way Jose. But before, Rawley cut a promo saying that he was willing to defend the title anywhere, anytime, including at your mom's house. Because this was no longer the hide-and-seek title. You want him? Just tell him. He said any great quarterback needs an offensive line. And he basically said that Riddick Moss is his lineman. Rawley then won pretty quick with a lame press slam. Some of the Congo line guys jumped in and put Rawley in a schoolboy for the title, to win the title. And we learned it was actually R-Truth. Truth got a big reaction here. Moss blocked Truth from leaving the ring. Rawley slammed Truth and got his belt back. Of all people that you can call to the main roster, and you call Riddick Moss? For what? To put him with Mojo? Okay. I guess it's a football thing. Well, yeah, he called himself the quarterback. He said that Riddick Moss is part of his offensive line, so hopefully they don't... Now that I think about it, are we going to get Tino Sabatelli as well with these guys? We'll see. Next up, we then got Liv Morgan versus Lana. This match went about 2.5 minutes or so. They went back and forth for a little bit until Morgan won fairly quickly with a flatliner. This was nothing segment, but at the same time, they didn't really mess anything up in the 2.5 minutes that they were out there. Lawler then said, and I don't even want to repeat this, I think this feud is far from over. Crap. I think I got Eric Rowan against some jobber. I didn't even get his name. In a minute. Lawler told Saxton to check what's in the cage. He goes, I like that we've got you here now, Byron. And Byron's like, well, why? Because maybe I can get you to go look what's inside Rowan's cage. Saxton then said, it might be time to go to the bathroom. And indeed, Rowan won in a minute with a claw slam. They then aired more clips of Edge, stating that Edge is up next. Vladimir Alvarado, I'm not going to talk about something that isn't happening. Or at least, from what I'm told, isn't happening. And before we talk about this main event segment with Edge, we got to talk about our sponsor. Our sponsor for this video is Strong Style Brand. Strong Style Brand is a pro wrestling inspired clothing brand that is very, very cool. Got just awesome looking designs, whether you need a hat, a t-shirt, a hoodie, custom shoes, tank tops, custom merch. Yes, they do customizations. You can get it going to strongstylebrand.com/PWUnlimited. If you go there, you can get 10% off of your purchase. Also, if you forget to do the /PWUnlimited, just remember to use promo code PWUnlimited at checkout. Strong Style Brand is endorsed by many top independent wrestlers like former Impact Wrestling World Champion Sami Callihan, MJF, Abby Lath, and Britt Baker. So head over to strongstylebrand.com/PWUnlimited today to get some very, very cool merch and also get 10% off of your purchase. So with that, we got the main event segment to talk about. We got Edge coming out, and Edge was very emotional. Came out with his fireworks. He high-fived the announcers. He came down and kind of embraced with some members in the front row, which is really cool. And the crowd chanted, "Welcome back," and then erupted in an Edge chant. Edge said that the fans have no idea what the reaction last night really meant to him. It's why he does this. He thanked them, and they chanted, "You still got it." He responded, "You're damn right I do." He said that he knew the people wanted to know, well, how is he actually standing here able to do what he did? He said 9 years ago, he was medically disqualified from ever doing this again. He refused to live in a world of what ifs. He got to work to make that what if disappear. Over the years, he started feeling pretty good and asked himself, what if I came back home? The crowd chanted, "Welcome home." Edge then said, well, I got to work, I had a second knee surgery, and I busted my ass. He said he got into the best shape of his life at the age of 46, so he could end his career on his terms. Edge said that he found himself in the Rumble and saw some old and some new faces like Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Owens, Black, Riddle, the list goes on. He hoped to see them all again down the road. He's like, but I know, I'm not fooling myself. This can't last forever. Everything comes to an end, but he hopes that the fans will join him on this ride. The fans then erupted in the yes chant, and he laughed and goes, well, that's my first yes chant. I got to thank Daniel Bryan for that one. I thought that was pretty funny. He said that he knew he was older and grayer and, well, had some crow's feet on his cheeks. But that was his roadmap. That was the roadmap that got him here. He had one thing in particular, grit. If you knock him down, he's going to get back up. Then all of a sudden, Randy Orton's music would hit. Randy would come down to the ring as the two would embrace in a hug. Edge began to cry. Orton said that he had a self-destructive personality, especially when he was younger. But there was always one guy who pulled him in out of that hole, and that was Edge. Orton welcomed Edge home. Edge cried a little more. Orton said that he felt their chemistry last night in the Royal Rumble, and it was something special. Orton said that he heard Edge saying, what if? And he said, what if Rated RKO got back together one more time? Crowd then again erupted in a yes chant. Edge started to look around at the crowd as they were embracing Rated RKO getting back together before Randy Orton, the motherfucker that he is, just plants Edge with just a phenomenal RKO. Edge had a look of shock on his face as he grabbed the back of his head. Orton grabbed a chair and nailed Edge in the back with it. Crowd started chanting, "You suck." Orton then placed the chair on Edge's head. And as he did so, you can read his lips where he says, hold on, I don't have it written down in my notes, but I have it on, I sent a tweet. Where's that tweet? Because I want to read it exactly. He said, I have it right here. Why can't I find the tweet? I'm sorry. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Randy Orton then sits up on the second rope as you think he's going to jump off and stomp the chair. But then something comes over him where he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so he throws the chair out of the ring, and he gets out of the ring, and then all of a sudden just runs over to, not gorilla position, but the timekeeper's area. And he grabs 2 chairs and throws them in the ring. He then placed Edge's head on top of one of the chairs and gave Edge a one-man concerto. Crowd then starts chanting, "Fuck you, Orton." At least that's what it sounded like to me. This was one of the just greatest segments I've seen in all pro wrestling in a long time. This is probably one of my favorite segments in a while. I thought everything that was done here was tremendous. You had Edge come out there, be the guy that's like, I'm back. I know that I can't be back forever. I'm on borrowed time again. But this time, we're doing it on my terms. And then Randy Orton coming down to be like, let's team back up. Nah, fuck you. I don't want to team back up. And then Edge just getting destroyed. I thought all of this was great. And it accomplished one major thing. It showed us that Edge doesn't really have many limitations right now. That Edge can fuck with that neck and not have to worry. So, I loved the main event segment with Randy Orton coming out. They went 5 minutes overtime, which is fine. But I just thought it was great. Yes, Kristen McNutt. Edge was rushed to a local medical facility because that's the storyline. He wasn't really hurt. But in storyline purposes, yes, he was hurt and taken to the hospital. So with that, that was Monday Night Raw. I do have a couple text messages I do want to read before we wrap things up. I always hate how it takes forever for these text messages to load. I don't know why, though. Junior Nieves says, what about MVP? I said it earlier. MVP is only in for a short time. Last I heard, he's just going to do a couple of things and be done. Nothing long term. But this text message says, do you see Owens and Joe winning the tag team titles at Mania instead of having Owens win the Rumble, or a heel turn from one of them? I don't see a heel turn from either of them. And I don't want them to win the tag titles at Mania because I don't want them to drag this shit out that long. I want them to move on. This person says, do you think Edge sold the hell out of that chair shot at the end? Oh, fuck yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Sold it like he was dead. This person here says, do you think we'll ever get Drew's Broken Dreams theme song again? Probably not. And this person says, even Big Show is confused as to whether or not Charlotte is a heel or a babyface. Nice. I mean, Nia Jax is probably confused as well. She's always freaking turning. And this final text message here does state, do you know why WWE changed back the commentary team on Raw? And did Raw bring back the overrun? So I don't know why the commentary change was made. And I don't think this was effective. They brought back the overrun. I just thought it was, they had an idea. They asked for 5 minutes. They got 5 minutes. They did an overrun with the Lana wedding. So it's like when they need it, they can get it. So we'll see. But that was Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a really fun show. That was one of the better Raws in a very, very long time. And the main event segment with Edge and Orton, masterful. You know what else is masterful? Joining us here tomorrow as me and Nick are here for the Nick and Tim Show. Yes, our new revamped Tuesday night podcast. We'll be talking wrestling and actually non-wrestling as well. But with that, thank you guys for joining me here to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. Thank you to everybody who watches later right here on YouTube and listens on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many more. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night.